So welcome to the Web of Life Shamanic Journey Circle, and thank you guys for being here today. The way I like to start is I like to go around the virtual meeting room and have everybody introduce themselves so we know who we're sitting in circle with. So I'll start. My name's Scott, as you probably know, and I'll tell you about why I hold these Web of Life Journey Circles is because my firm belief is that we as humans have strayed off of our path as caretakers, custodians, guardians of the web of life. And that's our natural role. Every creature in the web of life, every creature in creation has a purpose within the web, and humanity's purpose within the web of life is to be the caretaker, the guardians of the web of life. So that doesn't mean we have to control everything. Not everything is supposed to look like a garden, okay? It's not all supposed to be manicured, but we put things in right relationship with the web, right? If we're walking around and, we need to harvest something let's say we need to harvest wood, we don't just clear cut the forest. We're supposed to take the wood in a way that makes the forest stronger. If we are harvesting an animal to eat, and talking about in primitive society, right? You didn't take the biggest, strongest animal. You took the weakest, so the herd gets stronger, so that the next year or the next season, there's more food. And this has been our natural role of being in balance as a caretaker, as a guardian, as a custodian of the web of life. This has been humanity's role for thousands and thousands of years. Unfortunately, we seem to have lost our way with that at some point along the road, right? We've become more of a what can we take as much as we can take species, rather than a species that just keeps things in balance for future generations and for the web as a whole. So it was shared with me in a journey many times, actually more than once, that we've gone past the point of let's just recycle or let's just talk about it, but we have to work on a spirit level to help humanity come back into balance with our natural role as caretakers and guardians of the web of life. That's why I lead these shamanic journey circles. That's why I have put out Healing for the Web, in order to help shift the consciousness and to help support everybody who's here and who's interested in stepping into their own role in whatever that is, because we each have a unique amount of just a unique part to play, a unique thing that we give, right? So I give this, you might give something else. You might be talking to your neighbor or planting flowers or doing something more physically with your hands. But the more that we can support each other, the more that we can connect across the oceans, across the lands, across the continents, to help support each other and to help support the web, and to really encourage each other to step into those roles as caretakers and guardians of the web of life, the stronger we are together, because it's shifting, right? It's shifting. People's awareness is already shifting. At the same time, we can get discouraged if we think that we're isolated and doing it by ourselves, right? There's a lot of individuals out there who feel, oh yeah, it's time for me to step up and make a role. We understand that this is, an important part of what we're here to do, or important part of who I am as a person. I want to make a difference, but oftentimes we don't see a way. We don't see the vehicle. We don't see how we can do that for ourselves. So when we work together, we don't feel so isolated. And that's why we create this circle, a virtual circle. It would be great if we could all sit together in a physical circle sometime on Kauai, but that's a long way. We're out in the middle of the ocean in Hawaii. So instead, we're going to do a virtual circle. And there's a beauty to this virtual circle, because it means that more of us can join and we can weave our web all over the world. And that was part of my initial vision, was that we're more than just one drop spreading ripples out. We're many different ripples from many different focal points, spreading all out over the web, over the earth, in order to bring healing, in order to bring balance to the web of life, to humanity, to all of the web. And so that's me. That's why I do this work. That's why I'm here. And it's a real honor to be able to be here with everybody. So we can just go around the circle and start with just introducing yourself, where you're joining us from, and your name, and what brought you here.
I am Julie. Nice to meet you. I'm from Quebec City. I'm here right now in Quebec City. What brought me to this event is my curiosity, I guess, most of it. And two, because I care. I do care a lot.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks for joining us from Quebec.
Thank you.
Brett?
Hi, everybody. My name is Brett, and I am joining from Vancouver Island in a little town called Souk, BC. And I'm a acupuncturist, and Chinese medicine stems and roots from shamanism. So I'm just looking to dive a little deeper into the wisdom of where this medicine came from. So that's where I'm coming from today. And yeah.
Thank you, Brett. Thanks for sharing that. And it does. Actually, all the Taoist philosophy comes from shamanic awareness and direct observation. And I see 3 people here who are just recently sitting in workshop with me last month. And a lot of what I was sharing in our Cultivating the Energy Body workshop came through this shamanic awareness combined with Taoist awareness. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. Michelle? You just need to unmute yourself.
Sorry, you guys, I didn't have my glasses on. Can you hear me okay?
You're there now.
Can you hear my dog too?
Oh, only a little. I just met your dog for the first time. Hi, doggy.
Stop, Coco. Hi, everybody. It's great to be here with everyone. My name's Michelle, and I'm with my dog Coco here, and we're dialing in from North Shore, Kauai. And why am I here? I am here to connect with others like myself, because I am feeling a bit isolated, like you mentioned. And so, yeah, I'd like to meet other like-minded individuals. So yeah, great to be here.
Great to see you, Michelle. It's been a minute. Nice to see you.
Yeah, good to see you live.
Thanks. Stephanie? Just unmute yourself so we can hear you. You're still muted. There you go.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
We can hear you now. Perfect.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. I'm actually on here from New Jersey in the US. And I am an energy cleaner. And I've been doing it for about 3 years, and I am looking for like-minded people as well.
That's great. Thanks for joining us. And it's getting dark early in New Jersey.
Yes, we just had our time go back.
Thanks for joining us, Stephanie.
Thank you for having me.
Shannon? You're still muted, Shannon.
Does it work now?
Yep. There you are. We can't see you, but we can hear you.
I know. Sorry, it wouldn't pull up my correct button.
There you go.
Okay.
Now we got both.
Okay, great. I'm in Boulder, Colorado, and I also just feel like as a community that we can affect things more profoundly than often individually. So I just value that. And just the shamanic process, I think, has so much wisdom, and I'm just trying to dip my toe in it and understand more and look backwards, not always forwards, for our wisdom. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Shannon. Appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Jess,
Hi,
nice to see you.
nice to see you. I am Jessica. I live in North Idaho. I was one of the fortunate ones to be able to do the training this last September. And I'm an advocate of the earth and the web of life. This is my first circle, so I don't know what to expect doing this, but I'm really excited to connect with people that are on the same page as I am.
Great. Thanks. Really good to see you. Glad you
Yeah,
could
good
join
to
us.
see you.
Yeah. Hello, Vanessa. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you all? I'm coming from Australia. I also was one who was in Kauai in September and loved it. And I just love this work and know that whether it's individually or collectively, it's potent. And yeah, I just want to do more. And it's actually really great that you do this, Scott, so that I can come back and remember how good it is to be in practice with you. So, and everyone else. So thank you.
Great. Thanks. Good to see you.
You too.
Mary.
Hi there, everybody. My name is Mary, and I'm also based in Australia, although I'm originally from the US, as you can hear from my accent. I have an interest in teaching meditation, and as part of that, I started to become aware of shamanic journeying, and I've introduced that to my community, and there's just been such huge interest. I was really blown away by the amount of interest here. So that's just really encouraged me to go further, to develop my own skills and practice more. So came across this, and I'm super excited that this community exists, and lovely to meet all of you as well.
Great. Thanks for joining us. And where in Australia are you joining us from?
Sydney.
Okay. Right on. In the city.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Veronica.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm from Northern California, and honestly, I'm just so interested in shamanic everything, medicine, path work, meditation, that sort of thing. So I'm just hoping to learn anything today.
Great. Well, thanks for joining us and welcome.
Thanks.
Kelly.
I'm gonna try to turn on my video. But it keeps going freezing on me when I turn it on. So I don't have the best connection at the moment. I'm in my car. My daughter's at dance right now. So I'm just joining while she's at dance here. I'm just interested. I've been on a spiritual journey for probably about the past 2 years, and just been reading a lot about it and the shamanic stuff, and just I'm curious about it and interested in learning more.
Great. Well, thanks for joining us. And where did you say you're joining us from?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't think I said Columbus, Ohio.
Great. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Linda.
Hi, I'm Linda from Cleveland, Ohio, and I'm participating currently in the 3rd class.
Level 3.
Level 3, sorry.
Thanks, Linda. I figured I'd have the 2 Ohio people go right next to each other. When I heard Columbus, I'm like, I'm going to call on Linda right now. Yeah. So that's great. Thanks for taking the time today. And Ile?
Oh, hi. I'm in New Mexico. I'm here because I'm trying to travel into the spirit world. But like I said before, that I have visions, but they're just like dark visions. And um I always thought I was a spiritual person. I always thought I was connected with spirits and things like that. So
Thank you for sharing that. You know, I think we emailed a couple of times, and
mhm.
there are spirits in what's called the middle world and also in the upper and lower world. And the spirits in the middle world, it's kind of like potluck, the way it is walking around any big city. They might be any temperament whatsoever, positive or negative, parasitic or life affirming. But when we journey into the lower or the upper world, we're working exclusively with life affirming spirits. And so
Yes.
so when we start, I always recommend that people start by journeying to the lower world for two reasons. One, most importantly, that we're working exclusively with life affirming spirits in the lower world. And that's really important because parasitic spirits can be quite disruptive. And secondly, because when we start by going down, it gives us the grounding and the connection to Mother Earth. There's a lot
Right.
of work out there that's taught or spoken about going up and connecting with, you know, beings from other planets or, you know, other spiritual beings. But the problem with that, I find, is that we lose our connection to Mother Earth, and then it's very easy to think that you're up there, but you're actually in the middle world and seeing things that are not helpful or potentially distorted or even outright manipulative, if not unintentionally distorted. And so that's why we start by going down, because it gives us that grounding, it gives us that connection to Mother Earth, to the creation, and we start from there. And all our nourishment comes from Mother Earth, right? Everything,
Yeah.
all our food, all our water, all our air, okay, everything that allows us to live. And so that connection, that's why we start with the lower world, because we want to connect into the essence of the creation, right? The creator brings in that from source energy, right? It comes in, and that's that energy that grounds into the earth, and then it springs back up into life. So if we start down below, we're guaranteed to be connected into that which nurtures and nourishes us, not anything that's randomly coming in. It's hard, you know, sometimes we connect directly to creator, and that's amazing, or to
Yeah.
benevolent beings above. But sometimes there's other stuff that's trying to, you know, get into the sweet spot and become created and manifest on the earth, and we don't want that to become.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I told you, like, the last time I see these dark visions. I send you an email, and I said I don't put these visions in my mind. They just pop up. But you told me they're testing me the last time. I saw the circle. I saw a bunch of clouds, and then I told you on the email, like, oh, it looked like it was at the Rio Grande again. It had a bunch of clouds, and I saw this big eagle coming out, soaring out of the hole. But it was like a dark vision, and you said it might have been my power animal, but it doesn't answer me. It doesn't, I don't know.
So
But
let
I
me
don't
ask you,
put those things there.
yeah,
Hmm?
I know you don't put them there. So if there's an eagle,
Yeah.
okay, if there's an eagle, right, then just I want you to think about, how do you connect in normal day-to-day life? How do you connect intuitively? Do you see things? Do you primarily, are you visual? Do you see things in non-ordinary sense, like an intuitive sense? Do you feel things? Do you hear things? Or do you just know things? So some people, they get this just have a knowing, right? I know that's a bad thing to do. Some people feel it really kinesthetically, really in an embodied way, right? I just get a creepy feeling, or I just get a really good feeling, like this is yes or no. That's more of kinesthetic. Some people actually hear like a little voice, a positive voice in their head. And some people are very visual, like, oh, I can see that person's energy field. So for you, what is that like, Eli?
See or hear.
Okay. So
Yes, mine is I think mine is kind of complex. I
it's
feel
often
like
a combination.
mm-hmm. I feel like I've been to your shamanic and I've been trying to get in there. My dreams are brighter now, and I was sharing an experience I had that was
Maybe
kind of out there, huh?
maybe
Yeah.
this forum is for the web of life. So if you
Mm-hmm.
want to share a lot of experiences, it's probably better to just send it to me by email so that we can
Okay.
keep focused on what the group energy is here. Okay. So,
Yeah.
but for today, when you journey, I would journey again, try to go to the lower world, connect with the eagle or whatever your power animal is, and then ask specifically that I'm here to help bring healing and balance to the web of life. And
Mm-hmm.
what is my, what can we do for that today? And now that might be a personal healing for you, right? If you're seeing visions which are disturbing or dark, maybe the first step in that is that they clear that out of the way so you can make your positive contribution to the web of life. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
understanding when we work in the spirit world, we often don't work for ourselves. And when we do work for ourselves, we do so for a purpose that is higher than ourselves, right? So I don't work in the spirit world to go, bring me, all these things so that me can benefit. I say,
Mm-hmm.
please clear away any obstacles so that I can make my contribution because I know that the contribution that I have to make is important to the world right now. Not me, not important to the world in terms of like this is some new technology that's going to enable human dominance over the rest of the planet, but I know that what I'm doing is making a contribution to not just humanity, but also to the web of life and keeping the web of life balanced. So understanding that when we're journeying to the lower world, when we're calling on these forces of creation to assist and help us, okay, what we're making, what we're doing, what we're giving agency to is a reciprocity, okay? I am a caretaker of this land, and therefore can the whole spirit of Mother Earth, of Gaia, come and help and clear the way? So I'm acting as an agent for the web of life, and in order to be more effective, the web of life is then going to help to clear the way for that work because it's a symbiotic relationship. It's a reciprocal relationship. It's a collaborative relationship. Does that make sense? How we receive personal healing because then we become more effective at helping Mother Earth, at keeping things in balance. Because if I'm struggling, I can't do my job that well. Okay, so I have to heal rather than going heal me for me. I'm dedicating myself to something else, to something larger, which is the bigger picture about being an agent for the web of life, giving agency to creating balance and harmony between humanity and the web of life. And therefore, I have to become more effective as a human being in order to do that job better. And therefore, the spirits of creation will step in to help. And this is how it's been done traditionally for thousands and thousands of years. People weren't, now, if someone in your community was ill and they came to you as a shaman, then you're doing that for that person. But remember, that person is also part of the web of life. Okay? So again, the power flows through us for a reason, for a purpose. Okay, so when we're connected to the creation in that way, we become part of that. We become an agent for the creation, and we have the ability to channel healing energy through us. So absolutely, it's very important that if there's something that's disturbing you spiritually, that's cleared from you, 100%.
Yes.
Are you following? Does that all make sense?
Yes. I just
Yeah.
got a little bit more to say. Like I was telling you, I feel like I'm a spiritual person. I feel like I'm spiritually connected. I even think I'm spiritually connected to nature. And I want answers as well. How come I'm this way? Yeah.
How
That's what
come you're
I'm searching
spiritually
for as
connected
well.
to nature? Because we all are meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's our natural role as human beings. I mean, how do you think we
Mm-hmm.
survived for, tens of thousands of years before there were grocery stores?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like
Yes.
right? It's not like you just walked outside and there was Costco when you walked out of your teepee. Right? Oh, look, there's Costco. It came to me. Cool. Right on. Here, I think I'll have the pizza today. No, you went out, you hunted buffalo, you gathered herbs, you did what you needed to do. Okay. But in that process, there was a connection and attunement and an alignment with the web of life that allowed that to be done effectively. Okay. So I want to share with you guys a story about something that happened to me yesterday. Two really cool things that happened to give you an idea of how this works as we're in reciprocity with the web of life. So I'm traveling right now, and I'm traveling to support a family member, and I'm not quite sure exactly how the best way to support that family member is in this circumstance. And yeah, I've been spending a lot of mental time thinking about that. So I located a state park. I'm in South Florida right now, which is very developed and very flat compared to Kauai. I'm like, it's very weird being on a sandbar when you live on Kauai your whole life, or for most of your life, and it's very mountainous. And here everything feels like under my feet it's shifting at any moment because it's all sand. Our soil isn't like that. Okay, so I'm walking around and I find this state park that it's a beautiful state park. It's called the Birch State Park, and it has some of the native hardwood forest that was here, originally. And there's a lot of bogs. It's kind of swampy. It's almost like Everglades-like. But I'm in Fort Lauderdale, which is a developed city with, everything's planted, everything's, brought in. There's almost no native plants anywhere except in the state park. So I start walking into the state park, and I'm trying to connect with the spirit of the land. And it took a couple of times before to do that. And first I connected with a manatee, then I connected with an alligator, then I connected with a turtle. This is on separate journeys. Okay. And they each had a little bit to say to me. But then when I was out in nature, I sat there and I connected with these banyan trees, and I was just really in the environment. And I did another journey out there. And what I was shown was that the connection was not one particular species, but it was the whole interrelated community that exists within a bog/swamp environment, and how everything really has to function together, and everything's interwoven, the trees and the water and the frogs and the turtles and the mosquitoes and snakes and everything that lives in that environment. And it was really a huge lesson for me that the web of life, we're connecting. Sometimes the spirits of the land is the whole dance of it interwoven together. It's not just one species that's acting as the guardian. It's this whole dance together. And then I was given the message that this community is so important, because when something falls away, if something dies, comes to the end of its life, it's immediately recycled into new life within that swamp environment. It's not a desert where it will sit out there and not necessarily, eventually gets recycled. But here it all just happens very, very quickly. And so the end turns back into the beginning, and it cycles very quickly, which, given the number of retirees that come to South Florida towards the end of their life, it was a very interesting metaphor. And also the metaphor of how being in the community and having a community is so important to support people when they are in need, especially if they're elderly or something like that. Being around, and how important elderly people thrive in community because of the additional stimulation and things like that. And so it was a very deep teaching for me to be out there. So this is the type of thing that I'm talking about having a reciprocal relationship with nature, with the web of life, where we go out and we can receive those answers and to things that are on our mind. But at the same time, it gives me even a deeper respect for that mosquito that might be a little annoying to me, or that swampland that one might think is not really doing anything, but actually is doing so much in terms of filtration and nutrients and nutrient absorption, and a big part, a huge part of the even bigger picture of what would have been the natural balance of this area. So that was really an interesting thing for me, and that's how it works when we talk about the web of life, and how we as humans can be connected to the web of life in that way. And then as I was leaving, I passed a couple of ibises, which are really cool birds with very long beaks, like 6-inch long beaks. And they were sitting there and they were pecking at the ground. And they usually, I think they eat fish, right? But there's not a lot of fish, like little fish left, because there's not a lot of swamp left. So they're eating bugs. And I'm like, huh, that's interesting. And all of a sudden I get the message. I'm like, yeah, well, we'll adapt, and so will your family member. Right? So you get these messages that people, if you want to survive, you're going to adapt. You have to adapt to the environment as it changes around you, is basically what the birds were telling me. And so just understanding, even in a very developed urban area where I am, there's still access to nature and access to different, connections. When I go to New York City, which is even more urban, I go to the park and I walk around and I see the little birds, and I see the little birds nesting on the sides of the buildings and building their nests, and you watch the migration patterns. So the web of life flows everywhere, even where we think it doesn't, even where we think it's just a concrete jungle or it doesn't exist. There's a lot more going around if we learn to observe and connect with it in that way. And when we do, it opens up a whole additional level of awareness that we may not normally be open to. That makes sense to everybody? So this is what we're doing here, is broadening our awareness, broadening our connection to the web of life, and then journeying. And so for today's topic, what I'd like to do in our journey is journey to the lower world. You work with your power animal. If you've done this work with me or are familiar with journeying to the upper world, you can also journey to the upper world, okay? And the topic I'd like to have today for most of you, you can choose something different for yourself if you'd like, is how can I connect more deeply and align my awareness and expand my awareness of the web of life? How can I connect more deeply with the web of life? How can I expand my awareness, become one with? And for you, Ile, how can I clear myself of, and for anybody else that this is appropriate for, how can I clear myself of any interfering or negative or parasitic energies that are around me so I can make my contribution to the web of life? So
Could I share, Scott?
Please go ahead, and then Linda.
It was really beautiful to have such a complete experience of going down into the lower world. And for me, I enter almost like a cave-like inner world place, and there were numerous guides around, and this beautiful sense of receiving everything I need there to help me remember my connection, whether it was from the love of the eyes of stag, or being held and healed and from behind, and being encouraged to stay long enough so I could feel the embodiment of the love. And it was a really profoundly strong sense of as those experiences, as I receive all that I need, it helps me strengthen my connection and helps me also purify and clear and keep releasing what I don't need. There was like a sense of a fire of purification in the middle, and to not be afraid to put things in there, including myself, to stay as clear as I can be. And it just all felt like the main message was, as I started to come back out, it was like, we go with you. So that this deep inner experience of interconnectedness, so that then to come back out into the middle world, to be able to be as effective and as clear as I can be, and then really feeling that within me, that full web of life experience. So yeah, that was absolutely beautiful. It was just a really beautiful confirmation of all my needs are met when I go into that space, and then I'm in a much more potent place to be of service. So yeah, beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Vanessa. That's wonderful. That's really powerful.
Yeah.
And especially knowing you a little bit,
Yeah.
you know, that's I know the background, a little background, and that's just wonderful, because, and that's really where it is, right? Because when we are channels to the spirit world, we must be really, we have to be very clear about what we are channeling, right?
Yeah.
We're going to give agency to something, right?
Yeah.
If that's who we are in this world, right? And we all are to some degree. A lot of us just aren't conscious of it, right?
Yeah.
On some one level or another, we all give agency to spiritual forces.
Yeah.
We're just off. Most people are unconscious about it. They don't even realize what's happening. They just happen to be giving agency to spiritual forces they're not aware of. But when you're aware of that, then you start to become aware of, oh, wait, that's not the thing I want to do. That's not the thing I want to do. So we go back and we reconnect strongly to what we do want. And that's anchoring the light. That's what it really means to anchor the light. This is what I do want. And that clarity of purpose, that clarity of intent, is what allows us to navigate all the other distractions that are trying to hook our attention and throw us off our path. Yeah. And so that's going to give you that reconnection, and that's a place you can go every morning. You can go or anytime you need to. It may not be every morning, but anytime that the need arises for that. So,
Yeah, it felt like it was a full immersion into every aspect of what would be needed, whether it's to receive more love, to clear, to it just felt totally all will be received in that place. And I thank you so much for introducing me to that place. It's
no
great.
worries. That's great.
Yeah, thanks, Scott.
Yeah, thank you, Vanessa. Linda.
I went to the lower world, met with my spirit animal bear, who passed me off to the giraffe. And so it was kind of like seeing, he was kind of pointing to the cloud, like I'm supposed to be, rising up to their level per se, and kind of away from the noise of the world. And to repair the fabric was not to look at the chaos like around me, but to begin weaving kind of or weaving the chaos into the fabrics. It like to for like a more of a calming fabric of the universe. So I think it was like my role is to let me reword it. My role is to basically, I think, provide some of the calming despite all the chaos that's going on, and to, I don't know, weave it back into the universe. I'm not really sure how to interpret, but somewhere along there is a message. Don't think I'm wording it right, but I can hear it. I can hear the message. Sorry, everyone. I can hear the message.
Go ahead.
I can hear the message, that I think I'm supposed to have, use a calming influence despite all the chaos. That's kind of, I think, my role of what I'm supposed to be doing right now.
Be the calm within the storm.
Yeah.
To be the, and that's important because there is a lot of chaos around. And that's tied into what we were just talking about with Vanessa as well. That even if there's a lot of things that are trying to hook our attention, which is the chaos, the more clear we are in our connection and what we're here to do and the purpose, then we act as an anchor for people. I mean, just last night, this happens all the time, okay, to me. All the time, right? If you're grounded and connected, then people reach to that because they don't have their own grounding. Right? And they reach in different ways. So sometimes nicely, hi, Jim. Nice to see you. Sometimes they reach in nice ways and sometimes in not so nice ways. So if they reach in a projective way where they're projecting a negative emotion or harsh emotion, oftentimes they're doing that because they don't have any way to process that emotion for themselves. And so boom, you're the ground, as opposed to taking emotional responsibility and going out and breathing and doing their personal growth work. It's just much easier to just dump it on you and try to turn you into a lightning rod. Well, that's what we go through in level 2, right? That's what we talk about. That's what all level 2 is about, so that you don't have to be a lightning rod anymore. Okay. Well, once you get through that part and you agree to no longer be a lightning rod, then what happens is people begin to reach to you for healing, and not in a negative way, right? There's the victim reaching, which is a whole nother thing that's similar to the other lightning rod part. But people come and they just reach to you for healing because they feel the connection. They feel the ground. They feel that you are embodying something that they can't quite articulate, but that you embody something, some connection, a bridge between the spirit world and the physical world, a bridge between humanity and the web of life, that you are part of this creation in a different way rather than outside. And that's I don't want to go too far down the pathway of the mythology that has cast us out of the garden, which is not true. Okay, but if we believe that, if that's our agreement that we've been cast out of the garden, well, then of course we feel separate from Mother Earth and the creation. So once you've healed that within yourself, and I mean truly healed that within yourself, so you feel that you are truly part of the creation and the web of life, you no longer feel cast out. You no longer feel unworthy of God's love. And guess what? That's a very powerful place to walk in the world. And then people begin to reach for that healing, not in a negative way, but in a, wow, they open up in different ways. Open up in different ways. And they come to you and they ask. And I was just talking to somebody last night, and a caregiver, a worker at a facility down here where I'm at. And I mean, I was just having a conversation, like a casual conversation. And 3 minutes into it, she breaks down and starts crying. And not in a bad way, but just like, and then she's like, I'm so sorry. I and I'm like, no, it's okay. It's totally normal. But there was so much of her own, like being unheard within, this person was a gem of a human being, like very young, 19 and a half or something, and working professionally and really like furthering her education and really a gem of a caring, wonderful, beautiful soul, human being. And the frustrations about like not being able to make the impact in a positive way that she envisions for people, like she really wants to help people, and she's feeling hamstrung within the bureaucracy of where she is to be able to make that in positive healing impact, right? And then it all came flowing out, and she was so embarrassed, and I'm like, no, it's okay, you're totally fine, don't worry, you know. But that's what it is when you talk about being the calm within the storm, when you talk about with the chaos and you being that quiet place to help bring order to the chaos. It's not even bringing order, it's just bringing presence and compassion and stillness and a grounding that then people who want to heal, who want to be in right relationship as they heal, i.e. in a reciprocity, in a collaborative way, they will come to you. And it's a type of magnetism that isn't the fake magnetism of marketing. Like, I write magnetic post. No, it's not like that. It's simply a feeling of, wow, there is something that this person can help me with, and it will be a beautiful reciprocal exchange. And so that's where that's what I hear when you sharing your journey with me.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Linda. Jim, sorry, I think you got the time difference wrong because of daylight savings time. We've been here an hour.
Oh.
But hi, you can hear about our journeys.
Well, all my clocks are 12. Oh, you don't change in Hawaii.
No, we don't.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah, we don't have daylight savings time.
Well, good to see everybody.
Good to see you.
Now I was going to say, no, I'm on the right time here, but
you're on. Yeah, that's okay. It's good to see you. Welcome.
Likewise.
Yeah. Would anybody else like to share about their journey? Who'd like to share next? Go ahead, Brett.
I can share a little bit. It took me a little bit to fall into it, but when I've journeyed before, all I saw was more colors, and like these little speckled green lights that would come kind of out of the dark, and then I could feel this fur. So it felt like this green fur. And then today I got to meet my animal, and it was a bear, but it was a green bear. And then it just got me to jump on its back, and it took me, I don't know where, we were going through like this just darkness. And I could see like he stopped where we would pick berries and gather things from the land. And then I could see like the moon come and rise. It was what felt to be this message of like following the moon cycles to come back to this rhythm. And then our food from the land. And then near the end, just to kind of sum it all up, because there was so much more, but near the end, we turned around and there was just like darkness everywhere. And it didn't feel like evil or bad or like a negative type of sensation, but it felt like this looking into the nothing. And then that's where our creation would unfold from. So being okay at just being in that nothingness or stillness. So I'll have to sit a little bit more with it and just notice what all of the messages were, but that was kind of just a brief overview of like finding connection back with our food sources, our moon cycles, and then just being okay with that stillness and the nothingness. That's the basis.
Yeah, thank you, Brett. Thank you for sharing that. And what I hear when you share that is that you're being guided to go back into the natural cycles and rhythms of nature, right? Whether it's a daily cycle in terms of this is when I get food and this is how I flow to get food, or a monthly cycle, like the moon cycle, or an annual cycle, right? Where we go into a winter time, a time of hibernation. But that's also a daily cycle where we also go into hibernation each night. And so that's part of the medicine wheel teachings of making sure that we allow that fallow time, that time for introspection, for spiritual growth, for rest and rejuvenation. Because as modern Westerners, we tend to skip that part of the cycle, right? We go to planting our seeds, to they grow, we get our harvest, let's plant more seeds. Even if we don't even know if we like, even if we didn't like the harvest, right? People forget about that fallow time and that rest time and that introspection and the incubation time. And that time is so important because that's the time when we look back and we have our introspection around, is the harvest that I reaped from the seeds that I planted actually what I wanted, right? How many people go through life just trying new things, planting without taking that step back for being in the quiet, in the darkness, and being okay with that darkness of not knowing, right? That's a not knowing period as well. I don't actually know. That isn't what I want, but I don't know what I want yet. So I think I'm going to take a break and see if what I'm planting is in alignment with my spiritual path, with being a caretaker of the web of life, with being in right relationship, right? So it's a really beautiful journey. With the journeys, they always communicate symbolically. And so the first part of the process of learning shamanic spirit medicine is developing our own unique language of spirit. We didn't grow up, most of us, in a culture where we had a spiritual language, right? Traditionally, if you grew up in a small clan group in an indigenous culture, you would already have inherited a spiritual language from your ancestors and from that society that you were grown up in. So it might be, a buffalo means this, a bear means this. Well, we don't have that. We have what's been recorded of many, many different cultures, but that's, it's not the same in every culture. So the first step is in our growth and development is to develop our own language of spirit. So I know that if I see or experience an image in a journey, I know exactly what the message is for me. Because me seeing a bear might be very different meaning than you seeing a bear. And so it's great that you had this extended dialogue with a lot of imagery and a lot of communication there, because that's a big part of it. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you so much. I can share too. It's just, I do have a lot of resistance every year about winter. So I think it was just that message of like, you gotta do it.
Time to hibernate.
Yeah. Anyways,
You're in Canada, right? Is that what you said?
I am, yeah. And in the warmer side of Canada, but nonetheless, there's still resistance, so.
Okay, sounds like you need to come travel to Hawaii in the wintertime or something.
Thank you so much, Scott.
Thank you. Okay, would anybody else like to share about their journey? I'll share a little bit about mine. So what I was shown was the importance of sharing with the group about something that it's been called many different things. It's been called a medicine area, a sit spot, a sacred spot, or sacred place. And what that is a place that you go near your home, in nature, and you sit quietly and observe on a regular basis, a daily basis, ideally. Most times we do it in the morning to catch the rising sun, to catch the transition between night and day. It's one of the sacred hours when the transitions are easier. There's more chi available at that time. Okay, it's the transition time. The animal's often very active. And when we go and observe, and you can do it just by sitting, or if you have a different type of practice, like an energy body practice or Tai Chi or Qigong practice, you can do your practice there, or standing meditation practice. That's what I do. I do my standing meditation practice at my quote sit spot, but I'm not sitting, I'm standing. Okay. And what happens is amazing, because at first you're just observing the flow for a week or two. After a couple of weeks of being the same spot at the same time every day, what you begin to realize is you begin to see the patterns of the birds and the ground animals and everything else that's around you, and how they behave not only in the same weather conditions, but in different weather conditions. Okay. And then it's not just the birds, it's that bird with that spot on its tail, or that bird that's wing is a little different. And so you begin to recognize individuals. And so in my yard, I'm like, oh, there's that gecko that likes to hang out on that palm frond, right? At first I thought, oh, wow, look, there's a gecko over there. But then I began to notice is that gecko goes to that spot on that frond every single morning. That's really cool, right? And so that deepens our connection with nature, with the web of life. We begin to see patterns. It's just through observation. We're not doing anything other than observing, right? But as humans, as we observe, we begin to understand the patterns. But we need to take the time to gather the information, to assess, to learn in that way. And most of us don't do that. Most of us don't do that. Okay, so it's a practice that I share with you as something that will deepen your connection to Mother Earth, to the web of life. And if you're in a place where it's going to be really cold in the wintertime, you know, you can bundle up for 15 minutes. But if it's really inclement weather, I encourage you to do it under, you know, some sort of shelter. So you're not standing out there in like a dumping rainstorm. That's not really that fun. Okay, where I do it, I stand under it's an open area. It's like an observation deck. So I'm covered in case it's dumping rain, but I'm right at the level of the treetops as well. So I can see what's happening in the trees with the, you know, bug life and the bird life and everything like that. You know, find a spot, and closer to your home, the better, because you want to be able to do it every day. Thank you. And thank you everybody for being here. Really appreciate you guys all joining our journey circle. And I look forward to seeing you next month.